There we are. And we are live. It is Sunday, already November the 1st, 2020. I'm Ben. You knew that. You're on my channel. Welcome to the Sunday Night Hang. I can't believe it's November already. And hanging with me tonight is my good friend, my Filipino brother from another mother, RJ Ronquillo.
I didn't even know you were Filipino, Ben. That's great.
I see. I actually said it wrong. I meant my brother from a Filipino mother.
There you go.
And I messed it up. I had it right off air, but then, you know, I was noodling guitar off air and forgot.
You can be the honorary Filipino tonight.
Yes. And you can be the honorary Canuck.
Hey, that's awesome.
Awesome.
How's the weather there?
Cold. Let's see, actually. Yeah, it's been raining all day, and we are a beautiful 37 degrees.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to get into the 30s here in Nashville tonight.
That's what I'm seeing. For some reason, I always have Nashville on my app. That and Anaheim, California. I don't know why.
Those are the two most important places for guitar players.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. Who do we have in the chat? We got a bunch of people already in here. Scrolling back, we have the lovely Sandra Porcini. We have Martin Lemaire. We have Brendan Buttcheeks B Squared. Ryan X, the newest channel member. Thank you, Ryan. Vandy Man. Knucklehead Zero is not actually here. He just wanted to drop in to say hey. He has previous commitments, likely watching on the replay. Jack Collins, tuning in from Louisiana. Awesome. Charles 75N. Terry's 3Gs. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? We have a lot of them talking. See, like on your show, people just pre-gaming it.
Yeah, that's what I like to see.
Marsman, Michael Kroos, Mickey Stettlemeier, un-effing believable. I won't say the whole name. It's under 2 minutes into the show. Bent Tom, last week's guest. So we have to top that. And he did mention for me to ask you one thing during the show. So
okay.
Yeah.
Deep cut.
Daniel Horsley's here. Awesome. Cushman NYC, Amp Top Demos. Thomas Santiago. Always gets his name sung. Rising Havoc, Mickey Stettlemeier, Fruitcake Tony, The Feel Button, Brad Miller. Skip to the end. Keith H. Simon Mayu, good to see you. Welcome. Ben Langley. Brian Spalding, amazing guitar player. He does kind of a flamenco metal thing.
Oh, beautiful.
Awesome. Eddie Van Haskell. Greg Vanzini, Papa Blue, Thunder Falcon, Will Varela, Cool Tunes Made Easy, Fox Guy 67. Oh, dear Lord, Albus Band is here.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, fair enough. Dan in New Jersey, William De Silva. Awesome. Metalhead Hippie, good to see you. So, let's just jump right into a deep cut right off the bat.
Let's do it.
Tom just said one word, ferrets.
Yeah, man. Wow. I can't believe Tom remembers. I used to, well, my girlfriend and I in college at the time had ferrets. She actually had a ferret first. Can't remember the name. I think it was Bailey. And then she convinced me to get a ferret. So I got a ferret named Roscoe. And those were the pets. And then gradually amassed 2 cats and then a dog, and basically all the pets were hers, that she was taking care of them. So in college, I had a house full of animals.
Kind of a Dr. Dolittle thing going on there.
Pretty much. I'm surprised. We had fish. We had no birds or reptiles.
Nice.
Yeah, ferrets.
Okay. There we are. Tom, thank you for that recommendation. Love it. So yeah, let's see. Last time we did one of these hangouts together, we were saying off air, it was roughly mid-March. And, you know, in some ways a lot has happened. In other ways, not a lot has happened. You know, I see you doing similar things to myself where we sneak off to music stores and maybe play a little guitar and make a demo or something. And people are sending in stuff to check out.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy year.
It's been, obviously it's been a crazy year everywhere, but as far as like work and everything, it really hasn't, you know, luckily since my work is mostly all online and I don't really have to, you know, be around people and all that stuff. It's been it's been fine for me, which I've been, knock on wood, grateful for. And so I've been just as busy this year as I have been last year as far as videos and gear demos and all that stuff. So
Beautiful.
I think I got lucky with my career choice.
You were ahead of the curve.
My pivot, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes, the pivot. And did you do some session work this year?
I did a little bit.
Yeah, I thought I saw you do a little bit.
I did. Yeah, there was I don't know if I can talk about it now, but I did some recording stuff with my old bosses, Thompson Square, and then I did another project with a piano player who's actually, I don't know, you probably don't know him, but his name is Paul Cardall, and he's actually on the Anthem label, which is Rush's label, right?
Nice.
So he does a lot of, I think it's more like a new age, might be like a Christian type of new age instrumental record or something. So
what's wrong with that? Something
yeah,
different?
but when he told me about Anthem and Rush's label, I'm like, no shit, really? That's cool.
Right, like name another band that was signed to Anthem.
I knew there was one other one that I had recognized. I was surprised.
That wasn't just a strictly Canadian band, because they did sign a few Canadian artists, I remember.
Yeah, there was a couple acts on there. I got to check it out now. But there was like one that I was surprised, like, really?
Hey, Rhodey's Jam Cave, and Janice is here. Good to see you, Janice. Blackjack Guitar Nut. Yes, and if you folks have Simon mentions Max Webster. Okay. Canadian band. That would have been the band Kim Mitchell was in before he went solo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at
and they used to
it's mostly Rush. Oh, Buddy Rich Big Band.
Okay.
That's an interesting.
Ooh. All right. Charles 75N has a cool question. RJ, what piece of gear do you have that makes Ben jealous?
Gosh, I don't know. I guess my Novo. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the Novo.
And
knowing your taste.
Now the Rockman. You spoiled me.
Now the Rockman. Well, which one? I have two now. So
yeah, I saw that. That was funny because it was one of those things one of those rabbit holes I've never gone down, and I thought, okay, let's check it out. You're doing a demo on it. I value your opinion, and you're like right away, dude, this is Def Leppard in a box, and I was like, as a huge Def Leppard fan, you would think I would have known that little factoid that it was used or recorded. Didn't have a clue, and as soon as you started playing, I'm like, damn it, yeah, it is. Now I need one. Now I have.
It's funny because I had known that they mentioned that they used the Rockman on the record, but I was just assuming like, they probably just used it for a couple tracks or like in the background that you can't really hear, whatever. And then I did see another video of someone testing out the Rockman, and my jaw dropped when I heard it. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get this, because that is the exact tone. And then when you listen to the record, you can really hear it in the record, being like, yeah, that's all Rockman. That doesn't even sound like a mic'd up amp or anything.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's an interesting rabbit hole to go down, because there's so many like different variations that they could have used.
Right.
So you can't really pinpoint exactly what the sound was.
That X100 sounded pretty darn close.
Yeah, people have been saying like the X100 is the one to get. It's pretty much like the original Rockman. It has the same features, but I think they tweaked the actual sound a little bit, so it's a little smoother sounding.
Gotcha. That's right. Yeah, Harley Hex was mentioning Satriani used Rockman on Surfing with the Alien as well.
Yes.
That's right.
That's probably why it's in his Amplitude pack.
Right. That makes sense.
Because the patch that I started with, that I talked about in yesterday's live stream, was the Always With Me, Always With You patch. They have like certain patches for certain songs on his records, and that's the one that I pulled up. So if I didn't edit it, because I took off some delay and reverb and stuff, but that was supposedly the sound of that song.
Nice, nice. Yes, it's interesting. There's not a lot of them on reverb, at least in Canada.
Somebody's asking me what I'm drinking. Sorry.
So, and everyone I'm seeing, I watched a few more videos, and they're all saying you got to check the capacitors. You got to check the capacitors. So what I'm thinking is, if I find one, I'm just going to have it shipped to Lawrence and let him take a look at it.
There's a couple guys online that actually do all the not the upgrades, but fix specialize in just the Rockman stuff.
Sure.
And I think there was one guy that was charging like $75 to replace the caps or whatever. So I'm assuming it's probably not a big deal. It's something that I could probably learn, just figuring out which ones to desolder and whatnot. I wouldn't mind.
Hey, Mark, good to see you, buddy. I did see something. Oh, Marsman had asked, what was it like working with Albert Bouchard?
So Albert and I started working. It was basically e-sessions. So we were just emailing back and forth. He actually hit me up through this website called Sound Better, which is kind of like it's kind of like Fiverr for just recording musicians, where you get hired, you post your gigs or whatever, and you get hired as a session musician or whatever. So we worked through that website, just kind of sending files back and forth. And it's funny, when he first hit me up, I wasn't sure who he was, because I didn't know every single name of the band members in BOC. So sure. I had to Google him and be like, oh, okay, it's this guy. Because I wasn't sure if he played guitar, if he played drums or whatever.
Sure.
But it was cool. It was, I got to study that record, Imaginos, and, Satriani played on that record. I got to work on the song that Satch played a solo on. So I heard his solo. I'm like, yeah, I'll do something kind of along the lines, but something my style as well.
Sure.
So, and that was a record that I had no idea about.
Very cool. Yeah, people should check that out. I'm just thinking you and Satch on the same tune alone. That's gonna be cool. Just there's gonna be a dichotomy.
Well, no, so he played the solo on the original recording, and then the re-recording, I did the guitars. So, and he was telling me, yeah, Satriani played the solo on it, and I'm like, oh, cool.
Nice. Unbelievable was asking your toughest gig. I'm almost thinking that might have been the one you mentioned yesterday morning.
Which one? The cold gig?
Wearing next to no shirt.
Yeah.
Very frigid temperatures.
Yeah, it wasn't so tough, just because like once we got going, then I was not feeling cold anymore. Toughest gig. There's been a couple tough gigs when I was touring with the country band, just because of the logistics and the touring and everything. I remember, so this is kind of a scary story. We were in the tour bus. We were driving to play a show in Colorado, and it was kind of like, I can't remember if it was getting into fall, kind of getting into the winter time. So it was kind of snowing now in Colorado once you got up into the mountains, and the roads were like really, really bad and icing over. I can't remember. This was like overnight, kind of earlier in the morning. And I believe we were all sleeping on the bus. And normally what we would do is we would drive overnight after a gig to get to the next city, wake up in the morning, and then unload and do the whole whatever sound check and everything. So that was like the normal thing that we did. But we were trying to get to, it was probably somewhere outside of Denver. And I guess the roads were so bad that a bunch of trucks and cars had to pull off to the side until like they could get crew to clear off the roads or whatever. So we were parked to the side of the highway on the shoulder or whatever. And I was sleeping, and I just remember hearing like a loud bang, like a trash can, just like compressing and feeling the bus shake. And apparently our bus got clipped by like another tour bus from another group, had nothing to do with us. And I guess they had lost control because the, you know, black ice on the freeway and whatnot. So they just clipped the side of our truck. Luckily, no one was hurt in our inside of our truck or inside of our tour bus, and you know, we had minimal damage on the bus. But I got up and like just to figure out like what the hell is going on, and there was like this other tour bus that was like engulfed in flames, totally destroyed, and then like a FedEx truck that was all like twisted and whatnot. And I guess there was another band that there was another tour bus that had crashed into our bus, clipped it, spun, and then hit this FedEx truck. And just like, I can't remember, I don't think anyone, you know, died or anything, but the tour bus driver of that other bus had to be, they had to get the jaws of life to get him out. And I forget the name of the act that was on there. Twin Shadows. It was an artist that I had never really heard of, but maybe somebody in the chat's heard of this one-man act. I think it's called Twin Shadows. He had to go to the hospital, and apparently it was a bad scene. Like one of our techs had run out to see if they were okay, and he came back and he was kind of like in tears and like kind of in shock. So I guess it was a bad scene, but and then we had to
get a little bitty, you know, that could have been us.
Yeah, well, I mean, if
we're all brothers out on the road, right?
Yeah, if that bus would have come like a foot or two closer to us, we would have probably been smacked and maybe overturned or something.
Right.
But it was a loud enough crash on our bus for me to wake up and be like, what the fuck? What the hell?
Right.
But then we ended up having to go and then play a show that night, and everyone was still kind of like freaked out, like, Jesus, I hope the other act was okay.
Right.
But I think, you know, a couple months later, we found out everyone was fine, I think, and, you know, recovered.
Nice. Nice.
But it's dangerous. It's dangerous out there.
That's true. That is true. Having driven, you know, doing gigs in Toronto, and normally it's an hour and a half, 2-hour drive from my place to downtown Toronto. Mm-hmm. And that's been a 4 or 5 hour drive a few times, you know, because it's like, do you spend all your money you made in the gig on a hotel room or two?
Yeah.
Because, you know, hotels are so expensive in Toronto. And then it's like, no, screw it. Let's keep the money. Let's hit the highway. And then it's like, sun's coming up at 6:37 in the morning. You're like, and I only drove 100 miles.
I mean, that's not so bad. I remember when I lived in LA and I was in a band, and we would have to play in San Francisco and then come back after the gig. And that's like you play the show and you drive home and it's like 7 a.m., 8 a.m. back in LA, and you're just like, oh, okay, that was crazy. So that I would never want to do ever again.
Philly G, yes, the 401 is a dangerous highway, but it's right outside my house.
Everyone's asking, it's Waterloo sparkling water, watermelon flavored sparkling water. It's like LaCroix, or Perrier.
Nice. Yeah, we're keeping it all fancy. He's got the sparkling water. I got the wine. You know, we try.
That's right.
We try. Oh, this year you did a limited run with Revolta on that beautiful baritone.
That one right there. It's kind of hiding in the darkness.
Now, would you agree every guitar player should have one baritone in the arsenal?
I think so. I was actually playing it earlier today because I had to adjust the neck, and as soon as you pick up a baritone and you hear the resonance and the way that it rumbles in your hands, it makes you play a certain way, and it's it's inspiring to play because it's, you can play the same chord and scale things and licks that you know on guitar, but it's tuned down way lower and it sounds cooler.
Right. Very cool. Something I is definitely on my want list is a baritone. Need to get one. Maybe I'll talk to the guys at, I don't know, Eastwood. I don't know.
Yeah, they've got some. I've got another baritone, the side jack, which is a great baritone as well.
Yes. Well, I was, you know, funny enough, I think it was not too long after our last hangout together. Mike from Eastwood hit me up, and the subject line was fellow Canuck with guitars. And I went, great. Other side of Toronto.
There you go. Yeah. I've been to their shop there in Guelph, I think it's called. Nice,
yeah.
Which is right outside of Toronto.
West of Toronto.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, Hip Metalworks. Ryan X is telling me to check out the Gretsch baritone. Yes, I do love Gretches too.
Gretches are cool.
Hey, Kirk R. Chris. We got a few new names in here tonight, which is awesome. Awesome stuff. So kudos and congrats on probably the most shocking Halloween costume I've seen in 2020.
Literally, that's the only thing I could throw together. I was thinking about the night before. I'm like, I should be dressing up, but I don't have anything. I mean, I had some other options, but they weren't as interesting. And I remember I had bought that Henning outfit last year to do a video. I'm like, well, I might as well use it again, you know, make it worth its price. And
the funny part was, I just remember the chat lighting up, like, someone's got to get Henning online. You mentioned that, and at that point, Poo Ninja had messaged him.
Yeah.
And then I got a PM. I didn't even see him in the chat the whole show, but BV Ninja messaged me, and he's like, I just messaged Henning. He'll be in a minute or two, type thing. And I'm just like, of course, BV. Of course. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad he wasn't busy where he could have stuck his head in. That's what I wanted. Attention from Henning.
Agreed. Hey, Adam Finkel. Good to see you, man. Adam's from town here. Frank Corcoran's here. Nice. Yeah, we got 72 people tuned in. Wow. Nice. Cool. This is what happens when I have somebody on with talent, you see.
I'm not playing. Wait, I think I can do. Can I do green screen on those green guitars in the back?
Yep.
Not really. Yeah, a little bit. Anyways, I need a wall of green guitars so I can just make a huge green screen.
I love it. Oh, and I've also on your latest demos, I've been digging the tweak you did. The magical playing and tweaking of knobs at the same time, which it took me. I'm not going to give away how you did that, but I was just like, that's amazing. And then all of a sudden I went, I think I know how he did that. And then
where you don't see my playing, you mean? Where you don't see the guitar?
Yeah, well, I can hear chords strumming and yet reaching over and twisting knobs while chords are being played.
Yeah.
What kind of magic is this?
That's just a looper pedal.
See, you gave it away.
Well, that's the only way it'll work.
Yeah. Hey. Well, now that we've got a super chat, unfucking believable, just because.
That is. Nice. Thank you, unfucking believable.
And on that note, yeah, I know the rules, guys. I will have a sip of the good stuff.
That's just water.
If I could get
LPD Pedals is here.
Uh-oh. Good to see Mr. Petros.
Mr. Pedals, as he's called on Instagram.
That's right, Mr. Pedals. Oh, and Chyna Mike is here.
Chyna Mike. Hello, hello.
Some insomnia. Cheers.
How is this mic sounding? Because I'm using a lav mic today. This is the first time I'm trying the...
Not too shabby.
Okay.
Ooh, that is definitely not water. My knees hurt is here. Nice to see you. Rising Havoc. Now, is rumors are true? Because my eyesight isn't the best watching on the old inner Googles, but do you have a custom LPD 87 with pink knobs?
Yeah. It's the new LPD 87, and then we were able to source some pink knobs to matchy my brand.
Yeah, exactly, the brand.
But
that's true. Yeah,
some other special LPD things coming are in the works too.
Oh yes.
So we shan't talk about that.
He did drop a few teases. He was on a few weeks ago here, and I'd like to think I'm in the inner circle on all things Lawrence, but then he's like, "Oh, did you know I'm developing not one but two delays or a chorus?" And I'm like, "Really?"
See, I didn't know that. You know stuff, I know stuff, and then eventually it'll come out.
Oh, and because Lawrence is here and we're shameless. Available at flipside-music.com. Use the link down below, folks. Still 2 left of the LPD. Nice drive, eh?
Nice drive, eh? How many did you make with Lawrence?
We did first run of 10.
Nice.
And I believe, yes, 2 left.
Killer.
Yeah. Not apartment friendly, I will say. Even with your level at 9 o'clock and put the drive at 9 o'clock, you do still get a nice boost to your amp.
Wow.
Yeah.
A loud pedal.
Hey, Adam D. Well, I'm seeing, the seuss mariosa, and I saw Rhett with his lark, and I was just trying. Lawrence and I have been trying to do something together since last summer, and finally. Yeah. He had sent me the Choya boost to check out. I was like, "Can you put that into a full form pedal, please? I love that warmth."
That's a great pedal.
Yeah, we can do that. Hey,
it's hard to come up. Hey, Sister Amanda. It's funny how our sisters always seem to join in on our live streams.
I know. I love it. Although the bar has been set, apparently, if you're like Pete Thorne and have Peter Frampton on, then you'll actually get my mom tuning in too. She actually watched the whole 2 hours of that.
Really? That's amazing.
Yeah, my sister said, sisters are awesome. Yes, they are.
Very true.
Hey, PM. Hello. Welcome. Nice. Let's see. Any questions? Oh, we got a question for LPD Pedals in the chat.
Mr. Pedals. It's funny. It's hard to come up with new designs for pedals. Like when some builders ask me what would you like to see in a pedal, or what would you like, what would be an idea for an interesting pedal? I'm like, I don't know, man. It's for me, it's more like combining things that make sense.
I agree on that. Definitely.
Apparently,
how fucking believable says, because he owns a nice drive, eh? He says cranked it apparently peels paint off the walls.
Ooh.
Well, that's what you need in a lead boost, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You want it to be a little painful to the ears, but in a good way.
Hey, Jeff K. Good to see you. Nice. Wow, we got 79 people watching. Ooh, RJ's go-to guitar and gear for sessions.
For sessions.
All right, 2 guitars, just in case you got to do a single coil humbucker thing if you don't have that one covered all.
I mean, okay, so my go-to guitars for sessions and gear is basically the gear that I brought on the road with Thompson Square for many years, which, at least for the first year, it was this custom shop telly, which is this one.
Beautiful.
It's totally stock, but for some reason, the pickups sound amazing. It's like the perfect telly sound. And then I can't reach over there, but it's my PRS single cut, which I have low wind aux 4 pickups, humbuckers in them. And just those two together are just perfect for recording.
I was close. I was thinking in my head your Nags.
Yeah, so the Nags is a little bit too rock and roll to bring to sessions. Because I have the low wind pickups and the PRS, it's kind of, I can use it for rock stuff, but I can also get it nice and clean. It's really chimey, which I really like. Right. The Nags is definitely more of a rock machine with the pickups in there. But
Benito Martinez Jr., one of my favorite names in YouTube, and Six String Brian is here. Awesome.
Nice.
relocated to Eastern Canada, which I hope is still fairly close to the Trans-Canada Highway, so we have a friendly face to see on the way to the coast. Nice. Let's see here. Check out Dave Simpson. Yes, I have. Great guitar player. Let's see. What's your go-to amp for sessions? Assuming you get to take an amp.
I've been taking my Morgan, the RCA 35, which is what I toured with Thompson Square. It's just like a nice Fendery style amp. It can overdrive a little bit if you want it to, but it can also get nice, clean, and chimey. It's got a nice mid-range. It's a little bit better than a normal Fender.
Sure.
So, and then the pedals are just like, take whatever I can, really.
Yeah, all you need is a seuss mariosa.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Daniel Crow asks, how has living in Nashville changed your approach to playing?
I probably I get everywhere I've lived, I've always been influenced by just the scene, the music scene, and the players in that scene. So in Nashville, it's funny because you would think oh, I'm getting way into country and everything, and that hasn't happened. Mainly because I went through my country music phase in the late '90s, so I'm not super interested in it anymore. You know, the chicken picking thing.
Sure.
I exhausted my phase through that a long time ago. But I think it's kind of just listening more to different types of players here. And players that aren't necessarily really shreddy and fast, but more just really musical and tasteful and just coming up with musical ideas, and like Tom Bukovac or like Jason Isbell, that type of playing, as opposed to, living in LA. There's a lot of shreddy rock players and shreddy jazz fusion players out there, and that's a whole different scene. And there's a whole bunch of other influences that I got in LA.
And yet, ironically, that brings us to the AOR kick of 2020. You're bringing it back.
I don't know what it is, man. I think it's just with age. I'm appreciating it, maybe because it's new to me. It's something that I kind of shunned for so many years, and now I'm letting it in. So I'm like, okay, I dig it.
I just always thought of that as that was, being just that few years older than you when, in the mid 80s, I got into music videos big time around, let's say 82, 83. And it seemed like right at that time, we had that whole flush of returning artists from the 60s and 70s, and they all had black and white videos, and it was all like the Steve Winwoods and stuff like that, the Don Henleys. And I was just like, yeah, okay, this is like dad rock kind of. And then I even thought and I referenced it on a couple of shows, I even thought Van Halen went that route when OU812 came out. And the first music video, they're in the empty bar, the video's in black and white. I'm like, oh, they've done it too. And it's just piano playing. And I'm like, oh, okay. But
was that the When It's Love video?
Yeah. And, and I've always kind of dug that sound. And then again, you brought it back because you're just like, have you guys checked out this stuff? And then I revisited it as well. And I was like, damn, okay. Yeah.
Interesting stuff. I don't know. Cause a lot of it kind of hovers the line between pop and hard rock. You take like Night Ranger or something, or Toto. I mean, I don't know if Toto, but I'm trying to think of a band like Night Ranger.
Advertising in the mid 90s where they'd play like dance music, what we'd call our house music, but you always had that guy with the Soldano high gain to cut through. It's always that shredder guitar mixed with pop music. And
yeah, there was it was just a combination where you want to appeal to the lighter pop crowd, but you want to also appeal to a rock guy that likes Van Halen. So you get Dan Huff to play on the record. Together. Yeah. It's like chocolate and peanut butter.
Exactly. We got a bunch of new people jumping in here. Well, returning, we have the other RJ. RJ, the Mad One, is here.
Yeah, the Mad One.
Good to see you. And Floop-de-doo, best straps for old farts who love playing Les Pauls. Best strap you can get is a Jody head strap, friend of David Nesdall's channel, or you can go Canadian and get a quality Levy strap.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. And hello, George or Jorg Bustamante. He says, hello, world. Well, hello, welcome. Anyone done any guitar refinishes? I have, but not well. Especially if you watch the one I did last week where I got halfway through painting the guitar, which was going to be teal, and then I ran out of paint.
I've never tried refinishing a guitar, or at least painting a guitar. I think I would just keep it like really basic and make it like a flat color. You know, nothing glossy. Maybe just like spray, you know, Eddie Van Halen and spray paint it.
I just figure, you know, I want it to eventually relic. So it's like, I don't even sand the old finish at all. I just go right over top and hope it chips off in no time. So now we have a metallic blue over a cherry burst. So we'll see how that works.
So how do you do that? You just prime it? You spray it with primer?
I don't even prime. I just go right over top. Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen the Canadian show Red Green. It was on it was on PBS in the 90s, I remember, in the US. And it's just like, if you can't fix it with a hammer or duct tape, don't bother. And so, yeah, it's the total what not to do when you know, people are cringing. And a few people, I was like, I wrote in the video, this is satire. And a few people were commenting like, seriously, you're not going to get a factory finish like that. And it's like, no, I'm outside on a windy day in my pajamas, spray painting a guitar. Like,
yeah, that's what I'll do.
Adam D's looking for an LPD shirt. You can get that stuff at lpdpedals.com.
Yeah, the new ones are really nice.
The Red Green show. A Michigan boy as well. That's right. Ben just sprayed whatever he found in the garage. That's exactly what I did. It was a bunch of old rattle cans that are probably 20 years old.
What color? I think I might have some.
Yeah, first was the Chrysler teal, and then we went with the GMC metallic blue, which I remember was on a pickup truck we owned about 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yep. And barefoot, yes. Well, barefoot and sandals in the backyard. It was just one of those things because it's getting colder here. Last Friday, it was like 75 degrees. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to do a repaint video, today's the day.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what happened. Hey, Jeffrey Wright. He says, came on PBS right before Michigan Outdoors. There we go.
I don't remember Red Green.
Well, I would say you can look it up on YouTube. They put a lot of the TV episodes on YouTube, half hour. It's just like a bunch of guys up at a lodge, you know, somewhere in Canada. So like every scene, there's constantly chainsaws running in the background. It'll take you back to Michigan life somewhat too.
All right.
I will say. Pete Bialik, Ben, do you know where I can get a Seuss Mariosa pedal? Can't find them anywhere. Well,
you know, today I looked on Reverb and I saw that a new one was sold by a store somewhere. But no one's put them up for sale. No one's put them up for used yet. I guess that's a good thing.
Exactly. They're that good.
But word on the street is we're going to start another run pretty soon.
Nice. I would guess it's a little bit of a parts supply issue, just because having talked to pedal builders this year, that seems to be a real issue, is getting certain components for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm sure you have to make sure all of your stuff is in place before you even take orders for whatever. So
exactly. Let's see. Oh, my knees hurt. Sprays nitro almost daily. Nice. Let's see here. Thank you, Sandra. Post a link to RJ's channel. Yes, just in case you live under a rock and don't know about RJ here, definitely check out his channel. Live every Saturday morning at, I almost said 7. Wow, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central.
That's right. I hope that's a good time for most people.
Yes, even though sometimes he schedules it for quarter after the hour, don't believe that. Get in there at the top of the hour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do that because
I used to set my alarm literally 10 minutes before you go live each week.
Yeah.
just to make sure I wouldn't miss it. And then I was like, ooh, Ben gets to sleep an extra 15 minutes. And no, Ben just missed 15 minutes of the show.
Sometimes I'll set it for 9:15 and then I'll go like 5 minutes earlier or something.
Right.
But it's more of like make sure I have time to make coffee before we start. And sometimes when it's at 9 a.m. right on the dot, I'm always hustling to get everything. So that extra 15 minutes does help me.
You know, I'm just busting your balls. You know how it is. I gotta do it. Let's see here. I did see RJ, did you ever make it to Kalamazoo, the Decat 77? Hey, buddy, good to see you. He asked.
Man, I feel like not when I was growing up in Detroit. I don't think I really ever went to Kalamazoo, unless maybe there was a school trip that I don't remember. To tell you the truth, I can't remember if I've ever even been there in my adult life, even for a gig or just passing through. I mean, passing through possibly, but never spent any time there.
Apparently, I don't think Lawrence had the shirts on lpdpedals.com, but he has them on there now because he says, okay, everyone, they should be on the store now. Someone should go and take a look and tell me if they're there. Well, there we are. Nice, nice. And he also has toques and trucker caps that I was damn jealous of. When I saw you wearing that last week, I was like, what? I need one of those.
It's a good hat.
Oh, yeah. Motor City Guitar. Ever gone to Motor City Guitar?
I haven't. When I lived in Detroit, it wasn't there when I was a kid. I think it's a newer store, but I've heard many good things about it.
Nice. Hey, on the road. Hello. Jay Steen. Good to see you. Nice. Yes, as I recall, the owner of that store, he grew up with Dave Friedman.
Yes, I think Dave was telling me that.
So have you played much Friedman guitars? Just off the top of my head, a Friedman?
The only guitars I've played were at the Henning's house at 42 Gear Street. Well, that's not true. Basically, whenever there's like a trade show, I'll play them.
Right.
But I don't own one. I've never demoed one on my channel. The amps I've tried out a little bit as well. And the pedals I've never tried out.
Yeah, I haven't tried the pedal. I've tried a couple of his amps a brief time at NAMM when somebody isn't just absolutely shredding in there. You know, it's kind of hard to get in there. And again, yeah, try his guitars whenever I can. There is a music store in Toronto that carries them. And last time I was up there, I say late February. Speaking of which, speaking of the devil, Absolute Mayhem in the chat. He and I went up there to meet. We went up to Solo Guitars, which is a guitar parts company. They sell kit guitars as well as some pedals as well and stuff. And went up there, met YouTuber Dave from Dave's World of Fun Stuff. He's there as their tech, which was awesome. And then we went over to Cosmo Music, which is it's like our Sweetwater, and they have their platform, and it's all Seuss and Friedmans and Tom Andersons, and you know, you just drool. So I was like, yeah, I'd like to try a Metro D. I'd never played a Metro D before, and then shot it down. I had Mayhem do the camera work. We just used my phone. I'm like, yeah, I'm not passing this up. These are sweet.
Yeah, they're really nice guitars. I played a couple at the not at the NAMM show, but we had that pre-NAMM event over at Boutique Amps Distribution, and I got to play some cool I forget what if the no-hos. But they're really well built. Yeah,
I love the edges of the fretboards, the way they roll those edges. It just feels so nice. And
yeah, they're super nice.
And apparently, yes. Can someone please check the toque link on Lawrence's site too?
Oh, I got to see these. I'll check on the link for you.
Nice, nice.
I see it.
Awesome. Somebody was asking about your pedal board. Unfucking believable was asking, what's on your pedal board?
Well, in my studio, I technically have one, two, four different pedal boards hooked up around my feet, but my main board is essentially, so there's a video like the my Vertex board build is essentially that, but I've replaced a couple of the pedals. What is on there? There is a Analog Man Sunface Fuzz that I put on there. I think I put a Noble Zodiar one on there recently, and I put the Karma Mostortion clone.
Nice.
I seem to prefer that to the Dan Electro clone. There's just something about it that I like a little more. And what else is on there that I replaced? I'm going to put the new LPD 87 on there. I just haven't pried off the old one yet. What else?
I'm just waiting down the road when those OG 87s, you know, they're going to be seen like old school clones. Like I'm telling you, there's difference. There's difference.
I think I have a GFI Synesthesia too, which is an interesting. That's a fun pedal. It's got a lot of weird effects in it.
Nice.
And I'm not super big on menus and like a lot of bells and whistles, but this has a lot of menus and bells and whistles, and I've managed to figure it out a little bit.
Hey, tell me about it. I just recently, I've been playing with an HX Stomp the last couple of months, and that alone for me is that's a lot. Oh, even though it's so like, at least they laid it out so simple that even a guitar player can figure it out, you know?
Yeah, I think that's one of the beauties of the Line 6 stuff, at least from what I remember playing around with the early Veta stuff, was it was kind of intuitive to figure out how the menu system works and everything.
Right. Speaking of which, next Sunday we have Frank Rashot from Yamaha Music Group / Line 6 coming on to join us. So, yeah, I better sit down with that Stomp some more this week.
Figure it out.
Adam says, Ben, you went digital. Well, you see, you know, for those fly-in gigs, I have been watching these guys that do these fly-in gigs, like guys like RJ and Rhett and, you know, Pete Thorne, and a lot of them are using these Stomps and similar products when doing these fly-in gigs. I've never done a fly-in gig, but I want to be ready and available just in case.
I think it's good to have something really, you know, grab and go ready and portable.
Yeah. I also need a headless guitar because they're easier to fly with.
Well, I got rid of mine, so I'm going to have to get a new one if I have to do some more fly dates.
Yeah, I picked that up from you, you know. I just went, that makes sense. As soon as you were showing, like, you on an aircraft, and you're like, yeah, I can pretty much put this anywhere.
It was the best investment ever for that month and a half.
So I guess then, you know, to keep the AOR thing alive, we'll just get vintage Steinbergers.
If you can afford a $7,000 vintage Steinberger, then I applaud you. I've been looking at them, and there's nothing less than $6,000 that I've seen. Because I'd have to get one. I know
somebody let one go for just under that earlier this year.
Who did?
I'm not going to say his name on air here, but he did have one. He's been on the channel before. He sold his Steinberger this year. With spare faceplate, so I had the original black and EVH striped faceplate to go along with it too.
Cool. Did it have a trans trim?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I would want one.
I swear, out of the $7,000 they go for, $6,000 is just that trans trim.
I've seen people selling just a trans trim for like $3,000.
I believe it.
Jeez.
Ooh, favorite clone.
Oh man, I don't know if I put out my video yet. I'll keep my lips sealed. I have a video.
There we go.
Where I did a shootout.
Nice. I'll be curious to see that. The JJ Rocket Archer is nice.
That's a good one, yeah.
You know, if you want to go for a single knob clone type pedal, can't go wrong with the LPD Swaro if it's still being made. I know Rhett Scholl has one on his board.
Yeah.
I always get a kick out of that. Red will be talking about something on his board, and I can see that Swaro tucked underneath You open up the top. I'm like, there it is. There it is.
It's hiding. Tumnus. Yeah. I didn't have the straight Wampler Tumnus. I had the Tumnus Deluxe, which is a little bit different.
Okay. Ooh, favorite wah pedal.
It's funny. I'm not that super particular on wah pedals, considering how much I love Jimi Hendrix and everything. But the one I've been using is the Meccano Wah Mick Wah, which was actually just gifted to me by the Meccano guys.
Nice.
So that's the one I've been using. Prior to that, I was using a Buddha Wah, and then prior to that, probably just normal Dunlop.
I got to work on my wah skills. They're blatantly lacking, I noticed. I got a wah, I don't know, that was about a year and a half ago, just a regular crybaby. And then, you know, Mr. Petros is in the chat. He's like, you know, I have a mod for that I can send you. And I'm like, ooh, okay. So
I think the trick to using a wah is not to is to do it tastefully.
Yep.
So, which is hard because you just want to be like, wah, wah, wah.
Nice, nice, nice. So any sneak peeks other than the Klon shootout type thing? Any kind of teasers that you have coming out next while? Because you have some unique stuff coming out. Like, I love it because you'll put out the stuff that everybody puts out, you know, the day of, hold it for this date. But then you pull out some company stuff, and I'm like, I've never heard of these guys. I now want to be as friends.
Tomorrow, I have another pedal coming from that MG music company that's out in Brazil that I demoed on my live stream. So look out for that one. But I got a bunch of pedal demos coming out and some new Eastwood guitar videos coming out on their channel.
Awesome.
And what else?
Hello, Super Gigawatt. Reminds me, I got an email mic from Eastwood. He sent me the Blood Buzz, and I demoed that this summer, which I love.
Yeah, that's a cool pedal.
I pedal. Slipped the brain. Yeah, not pedal board friendly, but damn cool, and nothing else sounds like it.
But you can put things inside of it.
Yeah.
So it's
funny enough, I was on a live stream and somebody said, you know, one of these, it's a secret. I'm like, it's not a secret here in Canada anymore. Sorry.
Lucky.
Yeah, I forget somebody was calling this Harvestober or something like that.
Oh yeah.
It's insane. Let's see here. I love using the wah like Shanker does, tastefully.
He does it. I think Zappa did it pretty good.
Yeah, some players a little more over the top.
Yeah, I mean, that's like Hendrix, I think, used it a lot. But I think there's a nice line between him and what Zappa did and Ronson and everything. All those guys that kind of would leave it in a certain position and play around with it there.
Exactly. Thank you, Sandra. A playlist of RJ's Gear demos. Nice. That'll take you a day or two.
There's a lot.
Ooh, what would be your favorite flanger pedal?
You know, that's an effect that I don't use a lot of. It's just, it's hard to use that effect. You know, it's just this, I think it's definitely a special effect. Like with something like a chorus or phaser, that's something that you can like tweak to have on all the time, and it's kind of like you can kind of tell that it's on. But with flange, it's like it's flanged, you know. So I don't really have specific flange pedals.
That's good. I have a flanger on my board, and ironically, it is the Joyo Classic Flanger, and it was the easiest one to dial in without being too over the top.
Yeah,
like you'd be like, "Is he running a chorus in a phaser?" No, that's my flange.
Interesting.
You know? Or
yeah,
I can stack it with my phaser to make it extra phasery, flangery, or stack it with my chorus, or all three together. That gets a little crazy, but I enjoy it. That's usually your like, let's hit the chords and we'll just put all three modulations on at times. And then it's just grabs your signal and does what it wants with it.
If I can find one that's kind of like subtle or a transparent flange or something.
Transparent flange.
Yeah.
Nice.
Then I will look for it. But if anyone has any suggestions, transparent flange.
Robot Master Switch. Hello. He says stacking flanger and phaser is fun. Yeah. Michael Mick. Hello. RJ made the Guild Bluesbird sound really good. What were his thoughts on that guitar?
Is that the newest one? Was it the Bluebird? I don't think. See, I can't remember if they called it the Bluesbird or if it was a different model name that looked like the Bluesbird. Because I remember the Bluesbird. Oh yeah, I guess so. That was a couple years ago. So that's kind of like the Les Paul looking one.
I'm going to throw Absolute Mayhem under the bus here. He's like, what is a good flange song? Oh, I don't know. Van Halen's Unchained comes to mind.
Yeah. But see, that's like where it was done pretty tastefully, where it's only on for a couple things.
True.
I feel like the guitar riff to I'm Just a Girl, No Doubt. That's very flangy to me. But back to the Bluesbird, my thoughts on that guitar. It was nice. I think it's a couple years ago, but I remember the neck being a little bit thinner than I like. But for something that's an option or something else to look into if you're interested in a Les Paul style guitar, they were pretty good. The pickups were nice. Remember that.
Ah, someone else. Yes, Roy Batty. Thank you very much. Barracuda.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent use of flange. Hey, Quentin James is here. He says, "Hey kids, that Henning Pauly?" Yes, it is.
Well, I look more like Brian Johnston now.
Well, somebody did mention the Brian Johnson hat earlier, which I believe you may have been wearing the same hat in our thumbnail.
Well, same style, different color, different fabric.
See, I was figuring you're going to be wearing Vision streetwear head to toe just to go up today.
It's too cold for that. I gotta wait till it gets warmer.
That's true. I saw some. Thomas Moore asks, "What telly do you recommend?"
Well, it depends on your budget. My favorite tellies that I have is really just the custom shop Fender that I have and my LSL telly, which is essentially like a Fender custom shop thing. But I've had good tellies that were just like pieced together that I've just made from like, Mexican body, whatever neck.
Honestly, my best playing telly is my dual humbucker made in Mexico telly.
Yeah.
It plays better than my vintage tellies just because I've got it dialed in that little bit. The action's a little bit sweeter.
The thing with Fenders that I like is that you can tweak them however you want and really upgrade them. So you could buy like a Squire event, put in nicer pickups, maybe change out the nut, tuners or whatever. And it'll start being a really great guitar. For me, I'm very particular about the neck profile. That's kind of what grabs my attention or turns me off instantly.
I hear it. Well, Great Vanzini's got to head out. Thank you, my friend, for tuning in. Yeah, we're just going to go a couple more minutes here. That's why I teased in the chat before we went. It's the power hour tonight. Let's see. Ben Tom says, when I met RJ, I remember he had no visible tattoos and a windbreaker on, but he was the same mellow, chill, cool, or good dude.
A windbreaker? When did I have a windbreaker? I guess it was the 90s, but trying to picture myself. Oh, yeah.
Was it a starter windbreaker?
No, it was probably some kind of like LL Bean or J. Crew green. It's probably like green, like hunter green windbreaker. Wow. I vaguely remember wearing those things in the 90s.
The things that Tom remembers.
It was like the hoodie of the 90s. A blue windbreaker. Gosh, I don't know. LL Bean. You're saying an LL Bean blue windbreaker. I don't remember that now, but if I can find a photo. Oh, he has a picture.
Nice.
You're going to have to send it to me then so I can see.
Yep.
Trying to picture a blue windbreaker.
Nice. Nice. Let's see. Okay, we'll do a final question here from Quentin James. All things being equal, would RJ prefer in-ears or moving air with a real amp when playing live?
It depends on the situation. It depends on the band or the group that I'm playing with, and it kind of depends on the place that we're playing. If I'm playing with a rock band at a club, like the Whiskey or something, then definitely monitors, moving air, hearing my amp. But if we're playing in an arena or something, or a stadium with a pop act, then definitely in-ears, because it's just, functional. As far as like in general, it's more lively to me to play without in-ears and playing with wedges. But it's probably better for my ears to play with in-ears because I can turn down the volume on the pack, so I'm not getting blasted. So in the long run, it can be better as long as you don't turn it up too loud.
There we are. Well, my friend, thanks for doing this. We'll have to do it again soon. We won't take 6 months to do it again, or 7. Yeah.
Let's do it.
That's 2020 in a nutshell right there. Jeez.
Can you do StreamYard with multiple people?
Yes, we can.
Well, there you go. Let's get a party.
There we are. All right. Well, thanks everybody that tuned in tonight. Thanks. Special shout out to my mod squad. Thanks those who donated tonight. Channel members, shout out. I will be back tomorrow in approximately 23 hours. I'll even play some guitar tomorrow night, do some Q&A, and we'll have some fun and maybe put out the rest of that refinish video series this week. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's get that out. Ben puts a guitar together. It only took him an hour, and it was a Les Paul Jr. Yeah, that kind of a day. So once again, folks, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Ben. He's RJ. Hold those doors open. Let that guy in ahead of you in traffic. Do good things, and good things will happen to you. Karma is real. I'm living the dream. He's living the dream. I hope you are too. Cheers and rock.